What's up, tribe? How you guys doing today? Let me turn my phone off because I'm expecting some phone calls and I don't want to disturb our chit chat. This is going to be a Real Housewives of Dallas review, season 3, episode 8. I don't know how we got to episode 8 because I really don't feel like we're on episode 8, but we are on episode 8. I just didn't realize we were that deep into the season. Anyway, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video, you guys. So look. This episode, a couple of things happened. Wasn't a whole lot of going on in this episode, but a few important things. So let's get it started. We start the episode off. We see Cameron with her family, and if you've been watching the show, then you know last season Cameron's her children speak Spanish. She thinks it's important that they be bilingual and that Spanish be a language that they speak because most of the world speaks Spanish, and she's absolutely correct. America is one of the few countries that, like, we make our kids take a foreign language, but we don't, it's not mandatory that they become fluent in it. And you go to other countries and people speak 3, 4 languages and it's just accepted. It's just the norm. It's not a big deal. So I absolutely applaud that, and I applaud her for making sure. And they were baking. And so the Spanish tutor was with them as a family, the 2 kids and both parents, and the kids were actually teaching the parents. They were reading the directions in Spanish, and they made cupcakes all in Spanish, and I thought that was great. And you know, some things are about money and some things are not. This is not a situation that's about money, to the extent it is, but there are a lot of places where you can get free tutoring. There are a lot of places that provide services. Hell, at this point in the game, you can go online and find free videos on YouTube and stuff like that. So I just thought it was great. I thought it was a great thing that they're doing with their kids, and that their kids are they're making sure that their kids are fluent in another language. Great. Anyway. Then we get to Deandra. Okay, so we see Deandra talking to her stepson. Now, this is, again, if you watched last season, you know that her and her stepson did not get along. They did not click. It was a big mess. And then when it was all over said and done, she felt really guilty about how she handled it. She felt like she could have handled it better. Maybe, maybe not. But this is a different stepson who she seems to have a better relationship with, and he's talking about coming to move and go to school there, and all that's great. But the important part about this scene is that her mom's coming over to talk. And she says that she hasn't really talked to her mother since their big blow up. And that, you know, she said it's been about a month. And she said that's normal for them. They have a big argument and it's about a month before one of them speaks to the other. And then they speak and then they figure out how they're going to go, which direction they're going to go. She said, so her mom comes over. They sit down to talk. And she tells her mother, she said, look, I need to know what the situation is with us, because at this point I need to figure out, basically what she was asking her mother was, can I take my company, and are you going to let me have it, or are you going to make me start over? That was pretty much what she was trying to understand from her mom. She had already made a decision that her and her mother just could no longer work together, and she didn't like the animosity. She didn't like feeling the way she was feeling towards her mother, and the anger and the arguing, and so she had made up her mind she was going to take her company. What she was asking her mother was, how easy or hard are you going to make this for me? And then her mother really shocked her, because her mother said, I tell you what, I've been thinking too. She said, all I have left is you. You're an only child. My husband's gone. I have no other siblings. You know, my only family is you. And this business, this is not worth losing my daughter. She said, I'm tired of the arguing, I'm tired of the fighting, and I'm just going to give you the company. And she said in her confessional that she didn't give Deandra the company because she didn't think Deandra was ready to take the responsibility. She said, but at this point, either she's going to sink or she's going to swim. And either she's going to make it a success or she's going to lose the business. And she said, at this point, though, I'm no longer willing to stay in a constant argument with my daughter over this business. Which, now Deandra was like, I'm happy to hear it, but until we put the word, she signs on the dotted line and she officially hands it over to me, I'm not going to breathe easy, because we've been here before. Like, we've had this conversation before. She said she was giving me the company before, and then something always happens or she ends up reneging. She was like, so it sounds good and everything's great. She said, but I just ain't sure about it. Like, I just don't know. And To a certain extent, I 100% understand where she's coming from because that's what happened. Like last season, the very last episode, it was here, you got the keys. And then we find out that almost immediately, her mother was like, yeah, no, I'm not, I didn't mean it, psych. So, rich people problems. But I ain't mad at her. I understand where she's coming from, Deandra. I mean, where Deandra's coming from. So then we see Stephanie taking her sons to a hip hop class. Now, there are a lot of things I could say about this particular scene. But I'm going to choose to focus on something else. I'm not going to focus on you taking your children. Nope, I'm not doing it. Not going to talk about her taking her kids to that hip-hop dance class. With that middle-aged white woman teaching them how to do hip-hop. And it looked like they were doing a routine out of a Britney Spears video. It did not look like no hip-hop that I know. Nor any hip-hop I grew up on. Cruz came in there breakdancing. Cruz was ready for some real hip-hop. Cruz was breakdancing. And then they started doing some... That's not my hip-hop. Now maybe that's Dallas hip-hop. So I'm going to leave that there. I already said more than I planned to say. And I'm going to move over to the next part of that scene where Stephanie is dealing with disciplining her children. Now let me say this. And again, this may come off wrong. I don't want it to come off as a color issue. So I'm not going to make it a black-white thing. But what I am going to say is this. What I don't understand is a parent ever saying they can't control their kids. Unless there's some sort of chemical imbalance involved, legit chemical balance involved, I will never understand a parent talking about my kids won't listen to me or I can't control my kids. Now, granted, I don't have kids. So with that being said, my whole experience is just based on how I was raised and what I saw in my family. So let me say that. Now, Cruz and I forget her other son's name. The older one pulled the shirt off of the younger one. The younger one was crying and telling him to stop. And when Stephanie was trying to chastise the older one, she said, when people tell you stop and they don't want you to do something, you have to stop. And this little boy is laughing. Like he is in her face laughing at her. And so she tells him, you know what, that's it. Nothing else for you tonight, sir. Nothing else for you. No, I'm sorry. And at least for the purposes of that scene, she was like, no, she stuck by herself. But she's in her confessional saying, and this is what makes me nervous about Travis going to Harvard, because the boys just don't listen to me like they listen to him. He would never have done that to Travis. He would have never. Stephanie, I like you, Stephanie. I really do. If you don't yank them little boys up and demand the respect from them as their mother, what the hell? And I'm not even talking about get physical with them. I'm really not. I'm not advocating that you beat your kids. That is not what I'm saying. Well, I am advocating that you yank them up a little bit, though. Scare the fuck out of them. But you have a lot of work to do to undo, because this has been their norm. Their norm is they don't have to listen to mommy, but they listen to daddy. And when daddy's not around, they can do whatever they want to do because mommy's not going to make them. Like, that has been their norm. You better yank them little boys up. Because if not, you're going to end up raising spoiled, rich, obnoxious, entitled white boys. And they're going to end up being the frat boys that everybody either loves or hates. Like, seriously, that's what's going to end up happening. This is how it starts. And you decide. But anyway, so that's what that scene was about. Then we see Leanne and Rich talking. And her fiance's name Rich. Cameron calls Leanne and invites her to a dog painting party. Now, let me say this. When they were talking and she first said a dog painting party, I really thought they were going to paint their dogs. I saw something on To Tell the Truth. Y'all know the TV show, the little game show To Tell the Truth, where you have to figure out who's telling the truth and who's telling a lie. And they had a lady on there who actually painted and did really crazy things with dogs. And it looked really cute. It was real exotic. I thought it was some sort of class like that, right? But she was talking about a paint and sip, but instead of it being like a picture of a sunset, it's a paint and sip of your dog. And of course, all of them have dogs. And it looks like it looked really cute because it looks like she got pictures of their dogs ahead of time. If you've ever been to a paint and sip, then you know that you pick the picture and they sort of do a drawing, an outline of the picture, which is to help you paint for people like myself who outside of paint by numbers, that's where my skills end. And I've done a couple of paint and sips and they're really fun. So it looks like she had pictures of each of the women's dogs and they had a personalized picture and they were painting their actual dog. And I thought that was cute as shit. I thought that was a really, really cute idea. And you know how Cameron feel about her dog, y'all. She had her dog in a stroller later on in the episode. It was a doggy stroller. There's people out here making a lot of fucking money off of people who love their pets. I'm so serious. Like, a doggy stroller? And she said, well, you know, little doggies need a stroller because their legs get tired. Which, it made sense when she said it. But who the fuck would buy a doggy stroller? But I mean, it's not the first time I've seen it. Anyway. So Leanne starts talking to Rich about how Deandra is icing her out, how Deandra's not returning her phone calls, not returning her texts, and that she still feels like she's upset about the whole telling everybody she only got $200 in her bank account, and that, you know, it really hurts her because that's her best friend and she just doesn't know what to do with it. Remember, she was in Leanne's wedding, you know what I mean? Deandra's wedding, and she said, you know, it's really, really bothering me, you know. And Rich told her, he said, look, pick up the phone and call her so y'all can talk. Y'all are friends. This is ridiculous. Because Rich's answer to everything is just call her. Because men deal with things differently than women do. And I will say this. Although I understand why Deandra is angry, I'm not crazy about how Deandra handled the situation. She said that she stopped returning. She said she did, you know, she did ice Leanne out. She said because she just needed some time to process and see how she really felt about the whole situation with what Leanne did to her. And I get it from that point of view, but I'm just a firm believer in communication. Tell her, say, look, Leanne, I love you. You know I love you like a sister, but right now, I just need some time. I'm really just trying to deal with this with my mom. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I just need to process what's happened over the last couple of weeks. I'll call you. And at least, and of course, Leanne is going to be Leanne about the situation, but at least she would have some information and know where she stood. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just a firm believer in communication. Like, just tell me what the fuck is up. And if that means stop calling me, leave me the fuck alone, okay, cool. I might not like that answer, but at least I know what the answer is. Neither here nor there. I have a friend that did that to me, and it bothers me to this day. And it's been over a year since me and her. Well, that's a lie. We had one conversation because I reached out to her. But even with that, it was just weird. And to this day, I don't know what I did. And this was like one of my best friends, right? To this day, I don't know what I did to her to make her totally ghost me. She gave me some bullshit, but that's not what she's upset about, in my opinion, isn't worth throwing a friendship over. But clearly for her, it was. Anyway, sidebar, my business. Let's get back to the show. So then we see Carrie and her husband. Hopefully they're trying to move back into their house pretty soon. And what we find out is that Carrie grew up in a household where perfection was expected. It sounds like her parents were a little OCD, like both of them. She said that, you know, she put trash in the wrong trash can, she would be chastised. If she didn't make her bed perfectly, you know, that, and she said that it sounded like she was saying that it was even abusive. Like, not, she wasn't saying her father beat her, but she was saying that her father was abusive in how he handled it. Like, very stern, very strict. And she said that's why her and her father really do not have a really good relationship to this day. Because, you know, it was really hard living in that house. And they pulled out, I don't know. I think they're setting us up for a trip to Norway. Because come to find out, most of her family lives in Norway, is from Norway. And she was talking to her daughter about going to Norway to visit the family and reaching out to the family, whatever. I wasn't sure how that connected to her wanting to build a relationship with her father, because it sounds like you're trying to build a relationship with your extended family. But it sounds like they setting us up for a trip to Norway. But okay, I'm cool. I'm down with that. Whatever. Excuse me. So we get to Cameron and her party. And of course, I know Cameron is extra. She's got a string band playing, and I said a string band. You know what I'm talking about, a quartet. even though only 3 people showed up, and she was upset because she was like, a quartet means 4, right? So why are only 3 people here? I'm with you, Cameron. If you paid for 4, you better go find out why you only got 3, boo. You better find out. And the decorations and everything were nice. Now, my only other complaint, Miss Cameron, is you had dog food, but you had dog food mixed with the regular food. And some dog food doesn't look like dog food. And Leanne actually ended up eating one of the biscuits because some of that shit actually looks like regular food. If it's sitting on a table with other food, you would think, oh, it's just a biscuit. Oh, it's just a treat. You wouldn't think it's a dog treat. So I feel like you set people up a little bit by having the dog food in the same place as the regular food. That was a bit much. The fact that Leanne ate a biscuit tells me that it was too close to the human food. That's all I'm gonna say. And Leanne handled it a lot better than I would have handled it. I would have been a little more pissed off. So the first person to show up is Deandra. And and all the girls show up. Now here's the thing. Brandy has finally decided to get a nanny. She said she took heed to what Stephanie said to her about how she's burning the candle at both ends and how she's going to burn herself out. And so she got a nanny, and she got somebody that she trusts, and it has taken a really big weight off her shoulders. She's able to do more, hang out more, and just breathe and just sleep and just rest. She said that it's just been it's been a very great decision. So she goes to pick the girls up from school because the paint party is for kids. It's for everybody. It's for the dogs. It's for the kids. It's for the adults. It was just a nice opportunity for all the kids to get together and play. And they looked like they had a good time. And everything, right? So she goes to pick her girls up from school. And the Brooklyn one, the older one that I talked about last week, was acting like a pure D brat. I mean, she was crying, and she was a brat. She's moving the camera out her way, and they were. Now, Brandy called them little bitches. Now, I don't necessarily agree with her calling her kids bitches, but I would have been fine with her calling them brats, because that's how they were acting. They were acting like spoiled brats, to the point where I wouldn't have me. I wouldn't have taken them to the party. I would have took their ass to that house with that nanny, and I would have took my happy ass right onto that party. I wouldn't have took them to the party. That's how bad they were. They cut up so bad. The girl talking about she was overheated, and she was so hot, and she was crying, and talking about she wanted to change her clothes, and if she had known she was going to a party, then she would have worn something different. Bitch, what? You are like 9. We don't do no wardrobe changes. That's what you wore to school. That's what your ass gonna wear to the party. Are you crazy? And then when Brandy said, chill out. I got the air on. No, turn it off. Bitch. See, I just called her a bitch. Look, girl. Either you hot or you not. Your mama said she turned the air conditioner on. Y'all live in fucking Dallas. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. Brandy, you better than me. But again, you created those monsters because 2 years ago when we saw your daughters being, in my opinion, being bratty, the shit was funny. See, that's what parents make a lot of mistakes. The shit's funny when they're babies. Or at least you think it's funny when they're babies. And then when they get older, then all of a sudden, it ain't funny no more. The shit wasn't funny the first time. You just thought it was funny. It wasn't funny. Excuse me. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Got a little... I don't know if it's allergies or a cold, but y'all know the last time I had this, I ended up getting laryngitis. So my doctor gave me some medicine this time to be ready. So I hope it doesn't turn into anything more. But I'm drinking my tea. I love me some tea. I drink tea all the time. I love hot tea. Y'all should get you some. If y'all don't know nothing about no hot tea, I need to get you some. Anyway. So Brandy shows up. Everybody's there at the party with their kids. There's dog poop on the floor. It is dogs running around. The kids are painting. But everybody looks like it's organized chaos because the kids are running around painting. The little kids are flirting with each other. The girls are flirting with the boys. It's cute. It's a cute moment. Like, it was fun. It was absolutely fun. Now, here's where some bullshit went down. Deandra is ignoring Leanne. I mean, ignoring Leanne. See, I have a problem with that. Do not fucking ignore me to the point where you're not even acknowledging my presence. I don't like that. We don't have to have no in-depth conversation. We don't have to speak for no long periods of time. But don't sit here and act like you don't know me. I don't like that. Deandra, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way you handled that. I didn't think that was cool. Now, again, you talk to Leanne, hey girl, how you doing? And keep it moving. But don't sit there and act like she not in the room. That's fucked up. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But anyway, then we see Carrie. So Leanne being who she is. Now remember last week Carrie said, if you tell me something, I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to tell that person. So Leanne moseys on up to Carrie and says, so Carrie, remember when we were at the anger room and you said if anybody tells you anything, you going to go back and tell that person? So tell me, what they saying about me? So now Carrie's in a pickle because you didn't proclaim to the world that you're going to tell it. You're going to tell it all. When something go down, you're going to tell the information. So Carrie says, she talks about how Stephanie's been saying great things about you. Stephanie, she loves you. She thinks you're great and everything is cool. But Brandy did say that she feels like you're getting in Cameron's ear and you're convincing Cameron to do things that she normally wouldn't do and that you're a bad influence on her. What'd she do that for? Y'all know how Leanne is. You know Leanne can't handle shit like that. She's trying to be a better person. She's meditating and shit. Namaste. But y'all already know Leanne, she already feeling self-conscious. She already feeling nervous because Deandra's not speaking to her. But now you add into the mix that Brandy is saying what the fuck she said. So Leanne is being Leanne. And now we getting ready to have this little paranoid situation. Now, the party ended up, everything was fine. Everybody made their pictures of their dog. And like I said, I think that was a really, really cute idea. If I had friends who had dogs, I probably would think about that. But I don't. I don't have a pet. And a lot of my friends don't have pets. So that wouldn't be a good idea for us. Anyway, so the last scene we see, Deandra finally called Leanne up to talk, right? They come together, and basically, Deandra took this as an opportunity to sort of come at Leanne about her and Rich and about their wedding and so forth. Now, let me say this. Hold on. Excuse me. Let me say this about this scene. Again, Deandra, I normally rocks with you, girl. I like you and I normally rocks with you. But in this one, I can't rock with you, boo. I don't understand why you are so vested in when Leanne is going to get married. I don't understand why that is such a concern of yours. I really, truly don't. Leanne and Rich dated for damn near 10 years before they even got engaged. What the hell made you think they was going to get married any faster? If Leanne is happy, if you know, this is what I tell my friends. If you like it, I love it. If he ain't beating you, if you like it, I love it. I have friends who are in fucked up situations. They deal with a man who cheats on them repeatedly. And I say, yeah, girl, I hear you. That's what I give them. And then, now if they call me up and say, help me pack, I'm getting up out of here, I'm on my way. If they call me up and say, look, we got to run a caper, I'm on my way. But as long as that man ain't putting his hands on her and she is continuously putting up with his bullshit, far be it for me to get involved. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to y'all? Because at the end of the day, I had a girlfriend, love her to death, one of my really good friends. And she would get in these relationships with these guys. And she would do shit like go through their phone. Or follow them around. And then she would call me up when she found some shit. And this is what I would always say to her. I said, number one, you knew before you found the evidence. Because if you are going to take the energy to go through somebody's phone, you already know what you're going to find. And number two, what you going to do about it? Is it going to change anything? Are you going to leave him? Are you going to break up with him? So what is the purpose of going through his phone, having an argument, being dramatical? That's my word, dramatical. Just to end up right back where we started. I don't get it. I don't get it. And so, with that being said, Deandra, stay the fuck out of Leanne business. Her and Rich are gonna get married when her and Rich are ready to get married. Not before, not no sooner, not no after. And the thing is this, she brought up this other stuff about how Rich and Leanne are leading separate lives, and do you think he's cheating on you and all this? Why would you do that? Why would you? Leanne is your friend. Why would, unless you know that he's cheating on her and you've made a decision to tell her, which that's another conversation. Why would you even plant that seed in her head? You are her friend. You are supposed to be helping her plan the wedding whenever the date is. Because here's the thing. Earlier in the episode, they had decided on a date. So had you started the conversation with, girl, when you want your bachelorette party, girl, when we gonna start picking out bridesmaids dresses? Had you started the conversation from that angle, you probably would have got the answers to some of your questions because they have a date already. They know when they get married. They've already chosen a date. I don't know. Anyway, Deandra, I'm not really crazy about how you came off in this episode. I don't like, again, Leanne can be crazy as shit. We know that. But I ain't really crazy about how you handled this. Nah. But that's it, y'all. We'll see what happens next week. Peace.